Yo, I said stop myself, I'm not myself. Headed into anything, knowing that I got myself. And all my enemies wishing that I shot myself. Dead, on the bed, clothes covered in red. Stop myself, I'm not myself. Headed into anything, knowing that I got myself. And all my enemies wishing that I shot myself. Dead.
Hey, what is up, everybody? It's Mike and Nick here with Combat Sports Today. We're about to break down UFC 311. I'm super excited for this pay-per-view. It looks like Nick's under the weather. I'm a little under the weather, and we had some technical difficulties, but it's all good because we're here, and we're about to talk some fights and have some fun. So on account of the technical difficulties, by the way, Nick's going to be leading the way because I do not have the card pulled up in front of me. But how are you doing tonight, Nick?
I'm good, bro. Just a little bit, as you said, a little bit under the weather. Just took a dab, so that doesn't help with the coughing portion of it. Can't even lie, but this is a good ass card, bro. I mean, I think we start off with. I just think in terms of quality, this is the type of quality card that you look for in a pay-per-view because top to bottom, there's quality fights, not only from a casual fight fan perspective, but a diehard perspective, and especially a gambling perspective. So I'm pretty excited on all assets about this fight. I'm pretty excited to watch it. There are, unfortunately, this is one of those cards that I hate in the fact that there's not many fights that I don't want to bet on.
Yeah.
I see value in every single fight, and I always find that to be a little bit shitty. My apologies. I'm fucking dying over here. With that being said, let's jump right into it, man. First fight of the night is Tagir Ulanbekov and Clayton Carpenter. You let me start this one off because I like this one. Tagir Ulanbekov has a little bit better cardio than I think people give him credit for. His offensive grappling is solid. His defensive grappling is kind of garbage. I think his Tim Elliott win or loss, I'm sorry, is a little bit overrated in the fact that Tim Elliott was kind of having his final late career resurgence where he was giving some tough runs before I think he really called it quits. Tim Elliott's a weird style for anybody. Clayton Carpenter is someone that's been in the Arizona grappling circuit for a while. Super solid jiu-jitsu. Pretty good MMA wrestling. And, the room that he trains in is what really impresses me. Marcus McGee, Mario Bautista, Antoine Ho, all the guys in the lab. Kyler Phillips. That's something I always think is interesting. Tagir Ulanbekov, clearly the room that he's training in is pretty interesting too as well. Is he one of the Nurmagomedov students, Ulanbekov?
Yeah, I think he's one of them Daggy boys. He trains with them as well, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a good room too as well. So he's going to probably be training with Umar for this camp. Give me Clayton Carpenter plus 250. I think his forward pressure style of wrestling and grappling can win him 2 rounds here at some point. I think his first fight, he was so antsy and so rabbit jumpy against Mr. Hosha to go get the takedown and go get the finish and things of that nature. I think he's going to be a little bit more calm, collected, a little less jitters and nerves. I like the camp over at the MMA lab. I think their lightweight, their 135 room is really good. And I know this is a flyweight fight, but Clayton Carpenter's probably training with the smaller dudes. And give me Clayton Carpenter 250 plus 250 odds. There's no way Tagir Ulanbekov against someone with a good offensive grappling game should be a 3-1 favorite. So it's not a dog that I'm necessarily overly confident in. Shout out to our boy TJ because our boy TJ is very confident in him. He actually messaged me about this line. Maybe 4 weeks ago when we were on a nice little hiatus from UFC. So give me Clayton Carpenter. What do you got?
I like Clayton Carpenter as well. In terms of like just as a fighter standpoint, not a pick standpoint. I think he's been very impressive to me so far throughout. Well, his career is just beginning, but so far he's impressed me. He's an absolute animal of an athlete. The only thing about me, like if we're going not like going against your argument, but going camp for camp, of course they both train with high level gyms. And the only thing, and it's kind of a similar thing I'll get to later with Umar, like I mean, they're throwing down, probably, getting in rounds with the guys that are much bigger, like Tagir Ulanbekov getting in rounds with Umar, getting in rounds with Islam, Khabib, all those guys. And it makes me feel like he might be ready for a guy with the wrestling and strength and explosive power as Clayton Carpenter. But at the end of the day, it still is a fight, and he still has to go in there and do that. To me, it's tough. It's like it's hard to pick against Tagir in this fight, but at the odds, I don't want to add Tagir to a parlay. I'll say that. I'm not going to add a -300 to a parlay. Um, he is very good. I feel like he has a decent chance to win, but I do think the odds are a little off as well. Um, I don't know. I want to pick Clayton Carpenter. I just like him. I like him a lot, and I'm not the biggest fan of Tagir. So, um, off the vibes, I'm a rock with you on the first pick of the night with Clayton Carpenter. Just off vibes, I think he has a lot of potential, and I think there's a chance that even though Tagir is a relatively big flyweight, I think there's a chance that Clayton Carpenter goes in there and kind of little boys him a little bit. He's a very strong, explosive fighter.
I don't think it's all vibes at all. I think at 250 to 1 odds, I think it feel pretty, not 250 to 1, but at plus 250 odds, I feel pretty good at it. And not only on top of that, Tagir looked like absolute dog shit when he was supposed to fight Joshua Van getting off the scale. He was like grabbing his fucking ribs and like his like as if he was dying on the inside. How's the weight cut going to look at 125? Even let's talk about if this fight even happens first and foremost. How is the weight cut going to affect him now that it's in LA, especially what's going on in LA with the fires? So how does that affect fighters coming in for the camp and so on and so forth? I don't know if it affects it too much because he is out of the AKA gym, but regardless, Clayton Carpenter, no way in hell he should be a plus 250. I feel like by come fight time, he's going to be like a plus 180. So I kind of want to get on the odds and dip my toes into it now. The next fight, man, I'm just gonna outright say it. I'm gonna wait for you actually. Ricky Turcio versus Bernardo Sopaj. We've already broken down this fight before, so I don't feel like we need to again. So let's just if you guys want to go back and find the pick. We'll just do it real quick. I'm taking Ricky Turcios. He was my lock of the week, quote unquote lock of the week for that fight card. And same thing here. Sopaj is a gas bag. He's going to try to offensively wrestle someone that's going to out scramble him. And Ricky Turcio is going to put out a lot of high volume and a lot of high pressure. I see him winning 2 rounds at some point, maybe a split decision. Give me Ricky Turcios, and he's one of my favorite dogs this week. So Ricky Turcios, and I love him.
Yeah, I've certainly grown more nervous about this pick. This for me is mostly a vibe pick too, because I'm like I fuck with Ricky Turcios. I want him to get a win. Bernardo Sopaj, we haven't seen
Not that
enough.
good.
Yeah, we haven't seen enough of him at a high level yet to think that he's going to come in and annihilate Ricky Turcios. If anything, I do think it's a close fight that goes to a decision. And if Sopaj were to win, it would probably be via control because Ricky is scrambly. So
not going to happen. If he wins, he's going to have to put him to sleep. That's the way I see it. Or he's going to have to submit him. Ricky Turcios is not going to get controlled by this fucking guy.
Hey, I like the confidence. Let's go, Ricky Turcios.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident in this pick. I was fairly confident then. Why would I change my pick now? It's just dumb of me. Let's go Turcios, baby. Rinya Nakamura versus Muin Gafarov. Pretty proud of those pronunciations, both of them, bro.
I think we missed the first fight too. Who also is a dog pick for me.
No, the first 2 fights were Clayton. First 2 fights are Clayton Carpenter and Sopaj. I'm looking on DraftKings.
Okay, all right. So the ladies are they. I don't know why I thought Eileen Perez was the first fight.
No, they're after this.
All right, bet. Let's get it.
But I still like. So I mean, you gave away your. Let's talk about Eileen Perez and Carol Rosas. That you already gave away your pick. And you know me, I'm not going to talk about women's MMA for shit. I'm just going to ride with you on vibes and ride with my theory play. So yeah, it all kind of works out for me. So
yeah.
Who you got?
It's a beautiful time for the theory play. First women's underdog of the night, Eileen Perez. So I have been very impressed by Carol Rosa, and I do like her. And I feel like, she's not necessarily getting a ton of finishes, but she does have power in her hands. She's a great striker. I think she's good everywhere, wrestling, grappling, striking. And it's going to be a tough test for Eileen Perez. But something is telling me that Eileen Perez is going to be able to, use her offensive wrestling and grappling, find control, look for ground and pound, potentially find a submission in this fight. At first I was like, ooh, give me Hosa. And then I saw the odds because I was like, Hosa's probably going to be an underdog. I'll probably take her. And then I seen the odds and I'm like, Eileen Perez plus 250. Like for me, coin flip fight. And I think Eileen Perez game plan or path to victory is wrestling. And she's shown the ability to do.
Just so you know, the odds and move money's coming in on Eileen Perez. She's a plus 210 now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so I do think she's live, man, and still 2-1 dog. That is over marked on my opinion. So I'm gonna rock with Eileen Perez. I think she has a clear path to victory. Obviously, there's a world where Carol Hosa stuffs the takedowns, keeps it a stand up fight, and outstrikes her. But I'm gonna go with wrestling on this one and say Eileen Perez, maybe
Um,
inside the distance.
Real quick, I do actually have kind of some thoughts on this fight really quickly. I think Carol Hosa has a pretty all her wins are kind of fucking Carol fucking Landsberg dog and fucking Panny Kanzad wins, but losses against good people like Norma Dumas and Irene Aldana and things of that nature. She's the bigger of the two for sure. And I do think Eileen Perez is very stiff on the way of her entries of the takedowns. But I think of the upside and who I think the UFC wants to win has to be Eileen Perez with her beautiful butt. And you know me, I'm always going to take a nice butt. Give me my first woman dog shot of the night theory play. You always take the first woman underdog of the night, Eileen Perez. I'm riding with my boy Mike. Let's go, Eileen Perez. And I think Eileen Perez, no doubt, has the momentum on her side. 4 wins in a row. Jocelyn Edwards isn't absolutely horrible to say the least. So I mean, I'll ride with you, bro. I actually think that's a pretty good play to say the least. So now we can go back to Rinya Nakamura and winning Gafarov.
All right, let's get it. Also, TJ called Rosas by calf kick TKO.
Hey, TJ's here. I can't see any comments. So
I got you.
TJ likes Rosa. TJ's kind of the WMMA whisperer, though, so that kind of makes me a little bit worried.
Yeah.
So Nakamura versus Gafarov. What are we thinking here?
I mean, you got to think Rinya Nakamura is going to be able to win. I think I don't. What are the odds on this fight?
It's unbettable in terms of the money line. They don't have props up yet, but it's -520 for Nakamura, which, I mean, just being honest, he's probably, if you're looking at like what you would call a quote unquote lock, he's probably the quote unquote lock. But maybe the better play here is probably the 2.5 line. The over is -210 and the under is +160.
But Rinya hasn't shown the ability to finish so far. Like who he fought my boy Fernie Garcia, didn't
Fernie
he?
Garcia, and he fought another dude named Carlos something. I'm forgetting him, but the thing is, man, is eventually he's going to get better as the time goes on, right? Like, oh, the fucking door's open. Oh, okay. So eventually he's going to get better as time goes on. Whether that means that he's going to spend more time in the gym and he's going to spend more time actually choking and submitting people, right? His wrestling is already good, so he's not going to be really working on his wrestling. And maybe I'm putting 2 and 2 together here, but Moin Gafarov, not only is he chinny, but he's susceptible to front chokes and front choke series and things of that nature. So if I'm looking at it where the juice is probably going to be, looking at the under alone at +160, when we're going to get Nakamura at finish chances, we're probably going to get it at +250 for double chance. Give me Ren Nakamura. Give me him by finish, where I think we're going to, at some point, he's either going to find a top, and he hits fucking hard, dude. He has finishes by finish. I know it's on some like regional Asian MMA shit, but the dude does hit hard and he does have some power behind his hands. Gafarov's not good to me. He's never been good to me. Yeah, give me Nakamura, and when the lines come out for him by finish, I'm pretty sure they're going to be around +200, +250, and that's good enough for me to take, quite frankly. I like the under 2.5 at +160 a lot too as well. If you're one of those people that like the parlay big numbers, -520, for me it's unplayable, but fuck it, put it in your parlay because he's going to beat this guy. I'm pretty sure of that.
TJ says, "Why is Fernie your boy?" Fernie's just my guy, bro. Also, I have a homie.
Dude has
here.
the weirdest guys ever, bro.
My
Matt
boy
Semmelsberger,
but
Fernie Garcia.
He's from Frederick, bro. I went to school with Matt Semi. But nah, Fernie. So I got a homie named Anthony, and we call him Fernie. And so I rock with Fernie Garcia because of
Ihor Pretoria is another one of your guys, though.
But also because Fernie Garcia is tough. So sometimes I respect guys who are like, he's tough and he wants to fight, bro. Like he doesn't look for a way out, and he could be getting his ass whooped and he's still fighting. Like, who did he just fight? Hyder Emil, and that boy was swinging. They called it TKO as he's still swinging. Like, that motherfucker wants to fight. I mean, he's not the best, but I like a dude who is really down to bang like that. And One more thing about Rinya Nakamura. So I was thinking about, I know in the past you said Muin Gafurov, suspect cardio, even though it can hold up. We know for a fact Rinya Nakamura, at least, I don't want to say
I
a
never,
fact.
well, I never said his cardio. I said he gets clipped in fights and he's suspect of front chokes.
No, I think when we did the breakdown for him versus the Asian fighter, what's his name?
Well, that's all honestly. Oh yeah, Mr. Perfect. But that's also my play on Asians in general. One thing you can always bank on with Asians, except for in this case, fucking Mr. Perfect, Kung Wang, Hang or whatever, who took him down still to have great cardio. Why the fuck did he slow down so hard in the last 2 rounds? What a fucking joke. It will not happen with
Yeah,
Nakamura.
exactly. That was my thing. If Muin Gafurov shows a little bit of gassing, or if he starts to just slow his pace up a little bit, I do think he's gonna get drowned. And I think a finish for Rinya is live here.
Now you're right. Gafurov, now that I'm thinking about it, he doesn't have the greatest cardio, especially in the third round. But the fact that he didn't look bad in his fight against Mr. Perfect, that shit was so garbage, bro.
I was surprised too because he looked like he was gassing the fuck out, and then he just had more energy. Once that gas the
That
fuck
won't
out
that
part
won't
happens,
happen here with
yeah,
Nakamura. I'm like almost sure of it, bro.
yeah,
This guy hits hard, he wrestles good, he pushes a high pace, and I think eventually his jiu-jitsu is just going to get better. So,
yeah, I agree.
um, I love this next fight, dude. I love this next fight. And do you want to go first with the next one? Grant Dawson versus Diego fucking Fajeda.
You already know
Carlos
who he's
Diego
rocking
Fajeda.
with.
You already, yo, come on, come on.
Going for bargain.
We already, bro. So you're telling me Carlos Fajeda is fighting a guy that has negative striking compared to him, right? Check. Let's talk about boxes. Check, striking, bang. Diego Fajeda is probably on some sort of juice because when he fought Gregor Gillespie, he has the greatest scrambles I've ever seen of all time. I love bringing up this fight all the time. If you are a fan of grappling or a fan of scrambling, you need to watch Diego Fajeda versus Gregor Gillespie. It is 1010% one of the funnest scrambling matches you'll ever see because it's 8 minutes of ferret fighting and it's fucking amazing. And then out of nowhere, when he's getting his ass beat, getting dropped 4 fucking times against a dude with the crazy receding hairline, and he comes back with a crazy cardio win on this motherfucker, a straight cardio death. You're telling me we're getting a guy that doesn't have the striking upside, has scrambling and jiu-jitsu in his back pocket, and Grant Dawson does slow down in 3-round fights. We've seen that he had to go to a draw with Ricky fucking Glenn. Do I think he's going to take Diego Fajeda down? Yeah. Do I think he's going to submit Diego fucking Fajeda? Fuck no. Diego Fajeda's been choking fools out since he's been in preschool. Like, this motherfucker's like a 4th-degree black belt, dog. Like, he's going to be a coral belt by the time. Bro, it's fucking retarded. Like, I love Dark Carlos Diego Fajeda here. The dogs are barking this week card, bro. I mean, I fucking hate to see because it's going to sound like I'm just chasing dogs because what? Now 4 of my 5 picks have been dogs. Technically, I'm riding Eileen Perez barely based off a theory play, but the dogs are going to be fucking barking, baby, and the dogs are probably going to be barking in the prelims. And Diego Fajeda, if I like Ricky Tercios, how the fuck do I not like Diego Fajeda in this case?
Yeah, if Grant Dawson can't, so what Grant Dawson did to Demir Ismagulov, if he can't do that in this fight, he's going to be subject to getting knocked the fuck out. Because Grant Dawson, as we have seen, Bobby Green, obviously it was a quick shot, but it wasn't a haymaker. A lot of other guys in the division would have eaten a shot like that. He got put down by that in 30 seconds. I'm not going to say that makes him suck or anything, but against a guy who is as crafty as Carlos Diego Fajeda, I think when he gets, because it will happen multiple times, when he gets taken down, he's going to find a way to stay out of danger. He's going to find a way to get back to his feet or reverse position. I just feel like Grant Dawson, a lot of people are really high on him. I never have been, and I still am not. And I don't want to sound like a hater. I think he's cool and he's funny, but when it comes to a fighting standpoint, especially from a betting standpoint here, I can't help but to be intrigued by the odds on this one. And even if I didn't know what the odds were, or if Carlos Diego Fajeda was a favorite, I would still make that same pick and put my money in the same spot. So I'm going with CDF. That boy is him. He is 40. Oh, also, I think Saturday is his 40th birthday, bro. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might be his 40th birthday on Saturday. I need to look that up just to make sure. But I for some reason I think that may be true.
I'm going to look it up right now, actually.
It's someone's birthday.
January 18th.
Yeah.
I don't like the age portion of it, but I do think he's probably on some sort of juice just because his cardio was drastically different compared to his last fights when he fought Gregor Gillespie. I will always go back to that fight, to where the only reason he lost that fight is he just didn't have that. He didn't have the gas tank to keep scrambling with him. Yeah, bro, I love Diego Ferreira here. And also what wasn't mentioned by either one of us is the fact that Grant Dawson can get choked the fuck out. There is a world here where Grant Dawson jumps into a ghillie or jumps into something crazy. Diego Ferreira has a high-level jiu-jitsu. And one thing I'd love to bring up, strength of schedule. Have we looked at Diego Ferreira's losses, y'all? His losses are fucking Dustin Poirier, Beneil fucking Dariush. I'm fucking missing a few of them. I'm having one sec. I'm going to pull these up because his losses, almost every single one, but maybe one of his losses is an elite fucking loss. Diego Ferreira, 5 losses here. Mateus Gamrot, still an elite loss. Suck my dick. Gregor Gillespie, elite loss. Beneil Dariush twice. And Dustin Poirier. What? So you're telling me he only loses to elite guys? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Diego Ferreira, I love it. Diego Ferreira, possibly by finish, but I mean, I don't feel like I need to chase that much at 2-1 odds. I wonder if they do have odds for winning method dropped here. This is crazy. We have to talk about this, bro. Diego Ferreira by submission at plus 1100 to me is fucking insane.
Jeez.
Fucking insane. Him by knockout at plus 700 is insane. And him by finish, bro, it's plus 450. All of which are worth the play. All of which, give me Diego Ferreira by submission at plus 1100. My first Nick Rantz play of the day. Diego Ferreira by submission at plus 1100 and double chance by plus 450. I promise you by fight time, Diego Ferreira by finish will be plus 350 and Diego Ferreira by sub will be plus 800. Grab those odds at DraftKings right the fuck now. Holy shit. What a play.
TJ says he feels the same way about the dogs on this card. And shout out to Nick calling out Grant Dawson round 2 finish last fight.
Bang, bada boom, baby.
So we ain't hating. We just make picks based on what we see. You know, ain't nobody hating on Grant Dawson. He said some funny stuff in the cage last time.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying, in my opinion,
That's what I said. We're not hating.
All the upside just on this fight, bro. Like, all the upside on this fight. And Grant Dawson has great moments, but all the upside on this fight is for Diego Ferreira for me. This next fight I'm genuinely curious about because I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of wiki capping this fight. It's Zachary Reese versus Azamat Bekayev, who is the LFA middleweight champion, if I'm not mistaken. And he has some good wins, bro. Lucas Fernando and Chauncey Foxworth are really good LFA fighters. And he went to split decision, 5-round split decision win with Dylan Budka. So he does have some semblance of cardio. And he's fighting Zachary Reese, who I've never been impressed with. First rounder bust kind of guy, armbar bust kind of guy, has some power in his hands, but I'm just don't know what to do here. It's like, at this point, Bekayev should win, right? What are you thinking?
Bro,
Those are my only thoughts on this fight.
I gotta say, like, when I watched that fight against Dylan Budka, and Dylan Budka's a credentialed wrestler as well, but that guy, bro, that fight was just pitiful to watch. And it was, I mean, he was
in what sense? Like, what sense pitiful?
He was just over and over again shooting, and he was so gassed, and he was just, bro, it was, to me, it didn't look like he wanted to fight. He wanted to wrestle, and I don't know why he felt so threatened by Dylan Budka at the time. Like, watching that fight, I thought Dylan Budka won. It was hard to watch. He signed Dylan Budka and not Homeboy after that fight on Dana White Contender Series. And wait, am I thinking of the right guy? Is that who we fought on Dana White?
Yeah, he fought Dylan Budka, 5-round decision. No, you're thinking of the right guy.
And I don't know. Zachary Reese, against, obviously it was a different fight, a much different matchup against Dumas. He was a decent sized favorite, and if I'm not mistaken, he's like plus 200, plus 300 against this guy.
Zach Reese is a plus 170. So
okay, well, that's not that crazy. I kind of like Zach Reese in terms of finishing upside, and Homeboy is going to be shooting on him. And Zach Reese, he can jump that ghillie, he could jump a triangle. I'm not too interested in betting on this fight, but if I was going to take something, it would be Zachary Reese inside the distance, most likely submission. or knockout. I don't know. I can see this guy getting chinned. I can see him getting subbed. I'm not super inclined to bet on this fight though. Maybe a sprinkle. Zach Reese inside the distance, depending on the odds. I'm sure if he's plus 170, his inside the distance is probably only plus 215.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I don't think Zach Reese is very good. He's a can crusher by definition. I'd rather take the guy that has a better record. I think Chauncey Foxworth is probably around the same skill, probably as Zach Reese. So, and this dude knocked the fuck out of Chauncey Foxworth. So I'll go with I guess technically my second favorite pick of the night besides Nakamura. I'll take a Makhachev. And these dudes with an OV at the end of their name, they don't tap to triangles unless you're fucking. I mean. Shit, even Ankalaev doesn't even have an OV at the end of his name, so it still counts. Yeah, these dudes don't tap to triangles and shit like that. And this is more of a fading Zach Reese idea. I'm not going to bet on this fight. This is a non-bettable fight for me. There's so far been a few non-bettable fights just talking about it, but
no, you're probably right though.
This is honestly, now that I'm actually looking at it, it's probably the first non-bettable fight of the night.
Yeah,
for me.
I mean, reasonably or like logically, Zachary Reese is not the play here. I mean, I was thinking about betting Dumas over Reese. So by that logic, I probably shouldn't bet the elite wrestler, or I probably shouldn't bet against the elite wrestler and grappler. So yeah, whatever. I'll go with Bokev or whatever his name is too. I'll rock with him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Zach finished. That's all I can say. I won't be surprised.
Bet. Well, moving on then in that case, we have Yalton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak, which, wow, these lines interest me. You have Yalton Almeida minus 470 and Sergey Spivak at plus 360. Over unders listed at 1.5. What do you got?
See, this one's tough for me. When I first heard about this fight being announced, immediately I want to pick Spivak. It's two guys who like to wrestle, who like to grapple. One of them is like, I guess, a bigger dude. The other one's more explosive. Like maybe Spivak could be stronger. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like Spivak definitely has the side of violence and finishing instinct. I would say he has I mean, I know Almeida outside of the UFC was finishing everybody, but since he's been here, he's had a couple tough fights, where you see the fight against Derek Lewis, Sergey Spivak, he just completely manhandled him and finished him. And then Almeida sat in full mount for 25 minutes, barely even throwing any strikes. So I don't know if that's a mental block or I don't know what issue Jelton Almeida has been having at certain points in his UFC career. But against a guy like Spivak, I don't know if I trust him to finish him. And like TJ just says, if Spivak ends up on top once, I think he hammers him. I couldn't agree more. Jelton Almeida, obviously the more impressive athletic specimen, but I feel like Sergey Spivak is kind of being overlooked here by the sports books. And dude, now I feel crazy because I'm also picking every fucking underdog. Like I'm out here picking all the underdogs. I'm like, I mean, obviously
Dude,
some of them
the lines are off for this card, bro. I'm telling you.
yeah.
Don't be surprised when this is one of the biggest underdog. Like, well, as the card gets on, the favorites start to even out. I was looking and I realized that, as we'll talk about, but I don't know, man. I don't want to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, I feel crazy that I want to pick another heavy underdog, but
Can I sway you not to in this one though? I don't think this is the dog to take, and let me tell you why. Sergey Spivak, of his 4 losses, are by knockout. Dalton Almeida by knockout. By sub is plus 110, but by knockouts plus 275. Dalton Almeida almost 3-1 odds by knockout is probably one of my favorite plays of the week. Sergey Spivak is someone that doesn't like to give up a choke, and he will turn his back. As someone that doesn't like to be mounted myself and gives up my back to not be mounted, I can see him flat mounting him out, which Jalton Almeida loves to get a flat mount position on back, essentially a flat back mount, and hammer him away, bust his fucking eardrums up. Give me Jalton Almeida by knockout in this one. I even like the under 1.5 at even money. I think Sergey Spivak is going to find a way to quit in here. It could be by submission, but Jalton Almeida by finish here. Let me check this out here. I want to just implore people here. There's a lot of dogs that could be barking this card. This is not the heavyweight dog I would take. One dude's less athletic. One dude has worse cardio. And I know that Jalton Almeida has lackluster performances, but the good performances he has are fucking amazing. And the bad performances that Sergey Spivak have are horrible. Motherfucker, I know it was years ago, got knocked out by Walt fucking Harris. That's all I'm going to say, bro. You're getting knocked out by Walt Harris at any point in your career. There's no way I'm betting against you with Jalton Almeida. I mean, Jalton Almeida by finish is minus 200. So, like, if you're looking for the squarest parlay of the day, for me, in my opinion, I'm going to tell y'all what the squarest parlay of the day. It's Jalton by Maida at minus 200 and Rinya Nakamura at minus 520 at minus 120 odds. You want even money? That's the safest parlay of the week. I'm pissed. That's why I should have done my fucking king of the fucking end zone bet on. Fuck you, Russell Westbrook, you stupid motherfucker.
Dude, I was really rooting for you. I was watching that game just because of you. And
Russell Westbrook sucking dick or
well,
what?
he didn't even have a chance, bro. Jamal Murray
didn't.
just got off so hot. He hit like 7 shots in the first quarter, ended with 45 points in a blowout where nobody on the Mavericks even had 15 points. I was just praying they would come back so Russell could do more. It was all Jamal Murray that night. Unbelievable. You wouldn't have been able to guess that.
Bro, I was sick when I got out of practice and looked at the stats. I was like, man.
He got close in the fourth. He got, because he ended with like 9 points, 7 rebounds. He got like 5 of those in the third and fourth quarter.
Shit was whack, bro. I thought I was going to have a good night. There were so many other double-doubles I could have taken. Evan Mobley was my favorite one at plus 125, and I didn't. I tried to chase the money.
If it makes you feel better, I had Evan Mobley 3 threes at plus 600, and I was like, I shouldn't do this. And he hit that shit early. I was like, damn, this motherfucker already has 3 threes. Why did I not do it? And then I ended up taking somebody else who was like plus 180, who ended up making go like 1 for 7. And it's like, God, I should have took Mobley. Mobley's a fucking sniper, man. I love Mobley. But yeah.
All right, Brody. We have I guess this could have been the square play of the day too. You know what? The real square play of the day is here, guys. I got you guys with the real square play of the day. I spoke too soon. Peyton Talbot versus Heoni Barcelos. There's not much to say here. People are trying to make a case for Heoni Barcelos' old chinny ass. And yeah, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, Heoni Barcelos was the type, bro. And I really enjoyed him. His style was sick. And styles make fights. And Peyton Talbot will get chinned one day due to his lack of head movement. I almost guarantee it. This will not be that fight. Heoni Barcelos is not a sniper enough. He's more kicking based when it comes to his striking too as well, and he's not going to out-grapple him. Peyton Talbot by knockout is minus 185. Not the greatest number, but it's definitely a number. And if you want the square parlay of the week, the real square parlay of the week is Jalton Almeida by finish at minus 200 and Peyton Talbot by finish at minus 250. That makes plus 110 odds. Bang, bang, chicken gang. That's worth a hammer right there. So give me Jalton Almeida by finish. Give me Peyton Talbot by finish. Square, safe, and easy parlay of the week.
Yeah, I'm rocking with Peyton Talbot. I'm really excited. What I'm really excited for, because obviously he's going to steamroll Heoni Barcelos. And
He's going to beat the shit out of him. I don't understand the cases people are making for Heoni Barcelos here. Do you see in any world? I truly don't. He's too athletic. He's too athletic to get out grappled. The only thing is if that head that never moves off a line. Even when I watch him hit pads, bro, it's weird. He never moves his head. It's like just because he's dead inside, he has that dead sight that he's just like, fuck you, like a zombie, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing is one day I fear that he gets sniped and chinned by someone that's a real sniper and a real power puncher.
Yeah, I mean, I think me and Phil were just talking about it recently. I think he's top 10 by the end of 25. And obviously that requires him to win here. And I think he's going to do it in dominant fashion, probably in the first round. I would like to watch him fight for longer, but I don't see it going past the first few exchanges. I don't know if I'm sizing it, but I just don't see it going long. If there's under 1.5 and it's not minus 300, that's definitely a play I would like as well.
It is his under 1.5 is it plus money, bro.
Easy.
Plus
there we go. There we go.
That's like, bro, that's like a Yeah, bro, that's like legitimately a hammer spot.
I
You're
think
telling
so.
me that, bro, he's gonna bust this fucking. He's gonna kill Hayoni.
I know, but I feel bad
Like
for
it's
him.
a horrible match, bro. It's horrible matchmaking. You're giving me a guy that's a killer by finish, someone that's only building confidence, training with better fighters now. Now he's training with the likes of the Andre Feelys of the world and the Cheeto Veras and the Tenures of the world and things of that nature. And he's going out to camps in Mexico with higher elevation. And he is just looking sharp as fuck, crisp as fuck. You're giving me Hayoni Barcelos, who's now older, going to have to go through another weight cut to 135 and has been chinned? Stop it.
Yeah, I
Stop
like
it.
that. Under 1.5, bro. That's
Stop it, champ.
I
Nah,
like
bro.
that.
Honestly, bro, I was gonna go hammer Spivak, and I swear to God, I was gonna go hammer my square parlay of the week. And if BetMGM gives me the same odds on the under here, I'm just gonna hammer that. Oh, bro, BetMGM don't even have props up yet, bro. All right, well, I'm gonna have to wait a little bit for DK, but that's fine. That's fine. Anyways, let's moving on, bro. We both are in agreements here. Bogdan Gustav versus Billy Alicana. Always been a Bogdan Gustav hater over here. If you've been watching I don't think he's that good. I think he's also a gas bag. I don't think he beats anyone that's good. They were setting him up with another chinny garbage semi-gas bag in Johnny Walker. Now he's fighting a younger, non-chinny Billy Alicana who will come forward, push a pace. Doesn't have the strongest resume, but I've won some money on him. His fight against Chuck Campbell, where he was a minus 150. Shout out TJ. I'm sure you remember that fight. We were sweating. Give me Billy Alicana at plus 245. Billy Alicana is going to push a pace pressure. He understands this is his time. Guskov's not very good, and he's susceptible to get chinned, and he's a gas bag. Once again, I will take the non-gas bag versus the gas bag. Alicana. And I know Guskov is one of your boys. So let me tell you why you're taking Guskov. Or you tell
I
me, I'm
mean,
sorry.
actually, I was gonna pick and play because that's two of my boys fighting, Guskov and Walker.
Bro.
I love Johnny Walker. I bet on him every time. So I was probably gonna bet on Walker there, but short notice replacement. I know Elikana, decent striking. I think he'll probably try to wrestle in this fight, and it might work. But I feel like Guskov has a lot of momentum right now, and his striking actually, to me, has been looking relatively crisp. And he has power. I feel like he's pretty decent. When I first saw the matchup announced, I was like, "Ooh, maybe I'll bet on this other guy." But for me, this is a stay away fight in terms of Guskov being a heavy favorite, and still, even though he has some decent wins, still some unknowns surrounding him in terms of like what happens when he cracks homeboy and he's not phased by it. Um, but I would lean Bogdan Guskov here just based off of what I've seen from him so far. I think he has a real possibility to get a finish. I know these big boys. He's got that Samoan blood, probably Elikana. And I'm sure he's tough, but I feel like he could get chinned here. TJ says Guskov by uppercut.
No, I mean I respect both of your guys' opinions. This is a not bet fight for me though. Either way,
Yeah.
This is the second not bet fight for me.
Yeah, I'm not interested in betting on this one, especially because Guskov
Honestly,
by knockout is going to be like minus 110.
I'm not betting this next fight either, bro. So this one I'm gonna watch and laugh because it's literally the retard bowl. You gotta you have the dude with all the tools in the world, but not the fight IQ to implement it. And even saying in his interview, it's only if I feel like implementing what my coaches say or not, Mr. Kevin Holland, versus literally can I say someone that's Drakus Duplessis like? He doesn't do anything great. He's kind of a gas bag himself. He's a Draper, but he's only lost to fucking Anatoly Toliv or whatever his name is in one championship in Rene de Ritter. So I don't know who to take this fight. I don't even want to talk about it. I just want to laugh because you have the Ritter who has semi-simple grappling, but I think he's a shit brickhouse in terms of how strong he is because he subs a lot of motherfuckers and he smothers people. He almost has like a mother's milk style of smothering in terms of grappling. And it just seems like he saps energy out of people. His offensive striking is garbage. His offensive wrestling is garbage. But then you have Kevin Holland, who will fall into people's guards and tomahawk chop his way into someone's body lock or take down Stephen Thompson and let him up. It's just the most mind-boggling fight that they could have put together, and I'm so happy we get to watch it. So I'm going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to give anyone a single line, a single bet. Fuck that. Let's enjoy this fight. Mike, take it away.
The last time I saw the odds for this fight, it was pick'ems, and I do not think Kevin Holland is losing this fight, bro. And the odds that we have on it, I'm going Kevin Holland all day. I think, De Ritter is, I guess, bigger and stronger. Kevin Holland's pretty undersized for middleweight, but I don't think De Ritter's good. I picked GM3 to beat him, which he was beating him up until he wasn't. And Kevin Holland is, at this point, kind of like a gatekeeper, but he's a high level gatekeeper. And I think he has the jujitsu to stay safe, most likely. And if he's able to keep the fight on the feet, I think he's going to chin De Ritter. Maybe I'm sizing it, but I just don't see a world where Kevin Holland loses this fight. And I know that's crazy based on that he just goes out there and fights like a knucklehead half the time. But when Kevin Holland's on point, Kevin Holland's on point, and I think he's going to be on point this weekend. I have a feeling he's going to finish De Ritter. TJ says De Ritter's going to win. I'm on the other side. I have a supreme amount of confidence in Kevin Holland, and I also enjoy watching him as a fighter. So if he loses, I'm going to be upset. But I think Kevin Holland is a hammer spot, personally. I just don't see him losing, bro. I can't envision it. Him getting taken down and subbed. I just don't see it happening.
Well, one, he wasn't losing to GM3.
Dude, he was getting outstruck so easy. He dropped GM3 once.
It was a tie fight going into the third round. And I still had him going. I still had him up in that third round before he got that final gas bag takedown. So he would have beat GM3 regardless. But either way, I'm staying away from it. That's the only part he broke down that I took away. I was like, he was not losing to GM3, bro.
Dude, GM3 was impressive. He was tagging him on the feet. And a guy like Kevin Holland, who's a much more explosive, dynamic striker, he's a sniper with his shots. I think Kevin Holland could find a shot to chin him.
Can I say a hot take opinion?
What?
Kevin Holland's striking is overrated.
I mean, how do you think I rate it?
He punches himself out. He punches himself not into range, but almost out of range. Like he crowds his own punches. This is what I mean by that. This is what the point of saying he has all the tools in the world, but he doesn't utilize them. Like, again, he tomahawks himself, chops himself, kung fu style into someone's body lock. Like, it's just insane, bro. It's insane to me, bro. I love that guy, man. I truly love Kevin Holland.
Me too.
This line has been steadily moving since fucking Alaska. Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Who you got?
Dude, I'm rolling with the hot hand. I'm rolling with Renato Moicano, 100%. But also, to be fair, Benny Dariush is a pretty high-level guy. He has some good wins. But Renato Moicano has been on a roll. And, his classic, I can't afford to lose. I'm on the bandwagon. I like Renato Moicano a lot. I think he has good striking, good wrestling. He has very dominant control when he gets there. And his ground and pound, as we saw in his last fight, is vicious. And Beneil Dariush, they're both 35 years old, but I feel like Dariush is more so on his way out, and Moicano's kind of finding a stride late in his career. And it's a dangerous pick in terms of like betting on Moicano because Beneil Dariush is good, but he is chinnier than Renato. And I feel like Renato Moicano he's gonna bring some violence to UFC 311. I think he's gonna get it done inside the distance. What about you?
I've kind of been on Beneil Dariush
Understandable.
For a few months about it, like since the fight was announced. I was like, oh man, Beneil Dariush, fucking what's Renato Moicano's weakness? His chin. Oh shit, Beneil Dariush punches hard as hell. Oh, Renato Moicano's gonna try to wrestle him. Who can scramble? Beneil Dariush. Oh, Renato Moicano's jiu-jitsu. Oh, shit. Who has great anti-grappling. Beneil Dariush, who also has a decent offensive jiu-jitsu himself. Beneil Dariush. And then I thought, wait a minute. I could say the same fucking thing about Renato Moicano to Beneil Dariush. Literally, it's a mirror fight. How crazy is that? This is probably the most even fight on the card And
What
I
are the
think
odds?
it's minus 160 Hanato, plus 136 Benil. And I've been seeing Benil move down all the way from a plus 210 earlier in the week or earlier in the, like 10 days ago.
You were
So
about to
just
say, I think you. You were like, I think you.
and I was gonna say, I think you hit the nail on the head. You said the hot hand. Benil Dariush, in my opinion, has fought in the tougher of the competition. But Hanato Moicano has one thing that I like, even though the people he's been cracked and chinned by are some snipers, man. Like Fazeev, sniper. I know he took that all-terrain damage versus RDA, and then Jalen Turner. But one thing about him, man, is he just doesn't quit. And if Benil Dariush doesn't put his lights out, I think Hanato Moicano brings a sandstorm and eventually drowns him. I'll ride with the hot hand as well. I'll take the favorite, and I think the line's good enough to take Hanato Moicano. If it comes to a pick 'em somehow, some way by fight time, I think it's even better. Hanato Moicano should have nowhere been the minus 210 that he was or whatever he was at one point, but anything around a minus 130, I love. I probably won't play him until he gets to a 130. If he never gets to a 130, then I'll just wait for this fight live and live bet this fight because this has live bet potential all over it, especially if someone gets dropped. If someone gets dropped, preferably Moicano, then I'm taking Moicano live after he gets dropped at plus 500, whatever it will be. Because
Right.
watch that motherfucker just step on.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next fight, bro. We have Yuri Prohaska versus Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill's a minus 130, and Yuri Prohaska's a plus 110. Thoughts? What are your thoughts, Big Mike?
Ooh, I like that. So I'm rocking with Jamal Hill all day. And one thing that I've seen a lot of people saying is that Jamal Hill isn't a technically sound fighter. But my response to that is, what is Yuri Prohaska? He's not a technically sound fighter either. He fights all vibes.
He's literally is autism bottled up.
Yeah.
That motherfucker literally, his winning condition is take more damage than you and beat your ass until you're tired from beating my ass and then knock you out at some flash point.
Yeah, I think Jamal Hill, I mean, people have been saying he's not very technical based on some of those clips zoomed in on his legs during the Glover Teixeira fight. Meanwhile, he was so comfortably winning that fight that when those instances were happening, when he was kind of backing up weird and his legs like cross as he's backing up, like he wasn't in a position where he had to worry about Glover's response because he was beating his ass. Like, people use that clip so often to be like, look, a guy with footwear like this should never blah, 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 this and that. And, you know, it is what it is. He was crushing the dude. He didn't have to worry about footwork. I think when it's time to be on point, Jamal Hill is going to be on point. Obviously, he took that L to Pereira, but Yuri Prohaska not too long ago got viciously knocked out by Pereira as well. Jamal Hills was more of like a kind of like a flash, like he got knocked down and lost, obviously. But when Yuri got put out, he was having trouble standing afterwards. And I feel like that damage is going to stick with him. And Sweet Dreams has some serious power. I would like Jamal Hill inside the distance, but at the same time, his money line is super playable as well. Like, I put in a little cheeky parlay, Jamal Hill and Hanato Moicano money line. It's probably like plus 270. I'm pretty confident in Jamal Hill this weekend. I mean, same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Yuri did pull it off, but I'm like 75% sure. If I was going to give percentage, 75 Jamal Hill, 25 Yuri Prohaska. I've always been high on Jamal Hill. I know he hasn't been making himself look super likable by the fans as of late, but you know, he's kind of come around.
He's always been a fucking douchebag, though.
Dude, he's been coming around a little bit. So
no,
this
he
guy on
hasn't.
MMA Experts,
Let's not talk. Let's come on. Let's wrap this up.
Well, that's one of the points that I'm making is like
Jamal Hill's a douchebag. Always been a douchebag. I have a personal vendetta against him. He's a fucking douche.
This week he's been responding well to the criticism. Like when it's come time for this fight camp, you know, people are like, "Oh, what happens? You just got chinned. Like you're gonna get chinned again." He's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna prove it to you guys. Like, you know, I'm gonna show you. I don't have to tell you." And you know, I think he's handling it well. He's in a good mental, spot, and I think he's going to be on point this week.
Dude's a douchebag. I hate Jamal Hill personally.
I love him.
I think he wins this fight though. I think Yuri Prohaska has taken a world-ending amount of damage in his last 4 fights. Glover Teixeira, people forget that was a 5-round war. 2 fights against Alex Pereira where he got stiffened in both of them. violently stiffened. And then Rakic was beating the fuck out of him until he wasn't beating the fuck out of him. So Jamal Hill's a sniper, great boxing, going to clip him. My beef with Jamal Hill, I think I've said this before, is I commented on one of his Instagram posts. This was years ago, bro, like 2008. This is back when I used to follow fighters. I don't follow fighters anymore, bro, because I think that shit's so whack. These fools are whack as fuck. Fucking Jamal Hill, I don't remember what his response was, but it was weird. And like 10 of the people in his comments literally messaged me like, yeah, he doesn't smoke cigarettes, you square motherfucker. Like, don't you know about Big Daddy Hill, dog? Like, I don't know,
gang
bro.
on you.
MMA fans are such dick suckers, bro. It's the weirdest thing ever, dog. It just blows me away. So I'm just a fan of the betting side of it now. At this point, I've learned this fucking sport's fucking crazy. It's crazy, bro. Like the fans are crazy. I love the sport, but the fans, wild.
Well, we're good fans. There's a lot of us who are cool, you know. It's just
I mean, I would say a lot of people could say I'm probably a bad fan. Listen to the way I talk sometimes about these fools. Like I probably don't say the most positive things. I'm probably pretty toxic at times. I don't mean to be, but I just say my opinion, and I apologize for that. But one thing I would never do is dick ride a fighter and then jump into his comments and go talk shit to some random ass fool, which is fine, but it's just hilarious to me. I'm like, damn, bro, he's not going to suck your dick, bro. Chill. Jamal Hill is not going to send you a signed pair of gloves, brother. Relax.
Right.
But Jamal Hill is going to snipe this guy. I think he puts him out. Jamal Hill by knockout, actually. Can't be too crazy. Yeah, it's only plus 175, so it's not. Jamal Hill by sub plus 2,000. Tell me that's not worth a flyer shot. Tell me that's not worth just the flyer.
Dude, there's a reality, you know. I didn't think JDM was gonna sub Randy Brown.
All right, big dog. So we got the last two fights of the night. Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. The over-under is set at 4.5 with the under at plus 220. Two ways to play this fight. You play Umar Nurmagomedov, in my opinion, and you play Umar Nurmagomedov by finish at plus 300, or you play Merab Dvalishvili at plus 235. Because I think if Umar wins, I think Umar is going to win by some weird front choke, or he's going to finally be the one to chin Merab, who is chinny. And then he's going to put him out in some way, whether that's a front choke or a back take series. Even though I oddly like, in terms of pure money line, I like Merab to win this fight. But just based on how emotional he is, how reactive he is, way too many moments of him not only getting chinned, but even the front kick to the stomach by Sean O'Malley in the 5th round. God, I hate it. Give me Umar Nurmagomedov at plus 300 by finish. I hate saying that because I really want to bet Merab and his high pressure style. And I would much rather see Merab win because he's come around on me. He's grown on me, like how Jamal Hill's maybe grown on you. But give me Umar Nurmagomedov by finish at plus 300, man. I like that a lot, quite frankly. I mean, realistically, you could take Umar Nurmagomedov by sub at plus 450 and by knockout at plus 800. All these numbers are great to me. But plus 300 for a finish, and I think his winning method is a finish. Give me it. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so, well, first, Jamal Hill hasn't grown on me. If anything, we've grown apart, but I loved him since the beginning.
If anything, we've grown apart. That is hilarious.
But I still do like him. TJ says, damn, you guys are making me feel like Hill is a hammer spot. Just wanted to get that in. I wouldn't hammer him too hard just because Yuri's crazy. But in terms
no, TJ, I think he's worth a hammer spot, bro. I don't think I've come around to learn Jerry's not good. I hate to say it.
Yeah, Rome will agree with you on that one. But no, so for Umar, I agree. I think Umar Nurmagomedov will be. I've been seeing a knockout, dude, and at plus 800, that's crazy. Obviously, inside the distance is safer, but you pretty much explained what I would have said. I think, you know, if you want to bet Merab, you could probably just bet Merab by decision. I'm sure it's going to be the exact same line as his money line. If not very
That's
close.
funny. I gotta go look now real quick. I'm sorry, I didn't even think about that shit.
Yeah, but
I mean, if you want to live on the spicy side of life, Merab by decision is plus 350.
That's going to be the way he wins. Is going to be war of
attrition. Him by knockout is plus 1,200. Guess what? Him by sub is
plus 3,000.
It's plus 3,000.
Yeah, no, I think Umar is going to crack Merab. We've seen Merab cracked. I mean, Sean O'Malley hurt him to the body towards the end of his last fight. Marlon Moraes, had him on death's door and couldn't find the finish. If Umar rocks Merab the way that Marlon Moraes did, or anything similar where he's hurt enough to fall, I believe Umar will finish the fight. And the under 4.5 is solid if you like Umar. I think Umar inside the distance at plus 300 is good and definitely worth at least a quarter unit. I think Umar by knockout is very live to happen here. And I'm rooting for Merab, bro. I want Merab to win. I like Merab. There was a time where I didn't, but like you said, he's certainly grown on me.
And they given him the hardest, on my opinion, bro. They given him one of the toughest roads to a championship. Like, he's had to fight a legit killer's row since Jump Street. Like, he's been fighting good fights. Like, they gave him Casey Kenny when he was at his hottest, Ricky Simone, and these are like John Dodsons of the world. These are early fights before he even got into his top 15 run, bro. So, yeah, man. We're both in the same exact page, bro. I could see a knockout happening. By finish is the play. You could honestly play both sides, in my opinion. You legit could play, because I really don't think I think if Umar wins this fight, bro, he's going to crack him or he's going to choke him. Like, I just think he's going to finish him. So we finally got the main event. This is as good of a fight as you could make. You want to go first or you want me to go?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll ride. So Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan. This is, like you said, the matchmaking is beautiful. Obviously, it's the only sensible fight at this point for a title fight at 155.
Real quick, can I cut you off?
Yeah.
155 is at such a shitty moment of disarray that it's like bottlenecked so deep at the top with all these old ass dudes that need to get the fuck out of the rankings and out of the division. The Dan Hooker, the Gaethjes, and the Poiriers of the world that will never compete truly for a title need to get out of this bottleneck division and let the young cats and the young guns of the world.
Hey, Dan Hooker's still winning, bro.
The Joel Alvarez's of the world, even though he didn't have a great performance, the Mauricio Hoofis of the world and things of that nature need to come up and start killing it at 155. Hey, Dan Hooker had a good performance, bro. Fuck that. Gamrot had a good performance.
Nah, he's still winning, and he's going to fight somebody high-ranked soon.
He's fighting Gaethje.
He's fighting Gaethje.
It's old man versus old man fight. That's all they do is scrap each other.
Hey, Hooker's only like 33.
Hooker, imagine what happens if Hooker fights Arman. Well, imagine what Hooker fights good old Charlie Olives.
Hooker could beat Charlie Olives.
Fuck no.
Bro, he could beat him. We'll see what happens.
It's Charlie Olives conceded to a straight up strand and bang fight. Yeah. But he's not that dumb.
Or if Hooker's takedown defense holds up, he'd be all right.
That's the thing about Charlie Olives, though, bro. He doesn't need your takedown defense to hold up. He just needs you to post three fucking limbs on the floor. He literally just needs you to put one hand on the bat. Look at this back take series that he did against fucking the savior of mankind himself, Hoofy. Real quick, I got to tell you the story, then we'll get into the main event, bro. Me and TJ took shrooms one night, bro. We took shrooms one night, and we went on this epic journey. We watched movies, and fucking we argued, and I drove home and I felt the road, and then we walked when there was a full moon out. It was crazy. And this motherfucker was like, dude, I swear to God, Mauricio Hoofy is the greatest fighter on planet Earth. And he was dead serious. He swore. He was like, bro, I think this may be the next coming of Jesus. Like, and he was so, and the next night, or were we on shrooms that night? And he
I think you were watching the card.
No, we were on shrooms that night. Oh my God, I'm mixing up my shroom nights. Fuck. We were watching it, and before the fights, he was saying, bro, he's like, bro, this fight's the greatest fighter on planet Earth. And then we watched him go yawn top and start gassing and dying. And it was just the funniest fucking thing ever to watch this guy take L. Like, not L, he won, but just not look untouchable like that. Anyways, my rant's over.
Dude, I'm so mad about that shit, though. I called Roofy by decision in our video, and then I didn't bet it because Yon Top granite-ass chin. I'm so fucking...
And he had that muffin top-ass body after missing weight, bro.
Yeah, that's true. That's
missed hella weight. He said, bro, I'm taking everybody's shot, dog. Fuck this.
That boy is granite as fuck, man. He's going to be decent, but obviously he's not, crazy high level. But yeah, back to the main event. I think, this is a fight where... I've grown to like Islam a lot as well. I was never that much of a hater, but like guys like Khabib and Islam, it's like God, I want someone to beat him. I always root against him, even though I like him. And this is one where I think this is Armin poses a very real threat to the title, but I'm in a point of my fandom where like Khabib and Abdulmanap and Islam, like the goal was for this to happen, for him to break the record and become the greatest lightweight champion of all time. And I'm rooting for that to happen. But the first fight between Islam and Armin was so close, and Armin gassed a little bit. And I was listening to Armin talk about it, and he was kind of talking about like his coaches were telling him just stay on the feet. You're beating him and striking, and he was like, well, I was taking him down in the first and second round, so I'm going to keep doing it in the third. And then by the time the third comes around and he's trying to wrestle, he gasses himself out against what his coaches told him to do when he was winning the striking. And, I feel like he's made some serious adjustments. Obviously, we've seen him dominate pretty much every fight he's been in since then. And if he, obviously Islam has improved as well. But if we see Armin mix up the wrestling, defend the wrestling, if he's going to potentially outstrike Islam, that is, we don't know that if that is going to happen yet. But Armin is slick on the feet for a guy whose base is similar to Islam's, where these guys want to wrestle, they want to grapple. They both have good stand up, and I think this is a really close fight, and I think Armin is really live at a plus 300 underdog. I If I had to guess right now, gun to my head, I would pick Islam. But like from a betting standpoint, I don't even know where to go with this one because I do think maybe 60-40 Islam. I think Armin has a real chance at winning this belt.
Gun to my head, Arman Tsarukyan. Bro, y'all think I was finna fucking say that Arman had no chance against Charles Oliveira and not take him against Islam at almost 3-1 dog money? Get the fuck out of here. We're talking about the guy that made fucking Joel Alvarez look like roast fucking beef, brother. Yeah, he looked a little bit human against Mateus Gamrot, but he arguably won that fight. Strong argument that he won that fight. Realistically should have won that fight against Mateus Gamrot. Bro. Nah, bro. Arman Tsarukyan has better striking, gliding in and out. Doesn't have better overall grappling, in my personal opinion here, but he's not going to tap to shit. He's going to be juiced out of his mind. He's the younger fighter. And you know what? At this point, it's terms of projections. We've seen now Islam look human twice. Volkanovski won, and then Dustin Poirier fight, right? Arman, yeah, he didn't have the greatest showing against Charles Oliveira, but outside of 2 Hail Mary choke attempts, he beat the fuck out of Charles Oliveira. That fight wasn't close. Everyone wants to argue it because they love sucking Charles Oliveira's dick. Sorry, guys, but fuck you. In the end of the day, bro, that fight wasn't close. Sorry. With that being said, give me Arman Tsarukyan, 3-1 odds. I'm going to put a little sprinkle dinkle on him by finish at plus 700, dog. Even though I don't think he has the greatest finishing upside. I don't think that's the case. I think if he wins by decision. But give me Arman Tsarukyan. We're in agreement here.
Yeah, it's a tough one, though. It's hard to pick, man. I mean, I'm rooting for Islam, I got to say. But I think
I'm not.
Armin poses a real threat. I like Islam. I like Armin, too, though. I mean, I'm not going to be sad either way. But
I want to see the rich boy win. I always find it interesting when motherfuckers that come from money are great at fighting and why they choose to fight. It's always like something I think that needs to be studied in a way. Like, bro, you don't need to get punched and cut in the face.
I saw a post. He was like, this was a tweet of a conversation, so I don't know where exactly it happened, but I saw somebody so basically it was the person was asking Armin, like, do you have a lot of money? And he was like, no, my dad does. And then they were like, what would you do if you weren't fighting? And he was like, probably drinking on my island. And they're just like, what the? It's like, I mean, it does take, I mean, obviously anybody who gets to the pinnacle of the sport, it's impressive. But it is interesting when a guy like him is just like, I'll just fight. I'll just fist fight. But he got his influence from
it's something that I genuinely, something that always makes me genuinely curious.
Right.
Like what's up with the psyche of this guy? Like, you don't have to fight, but you choose to fight. And I do find that a little bit strange. So that means I think he is wired a little bit differently. If anything, it makes him more dangerous to me, to be honest, because like I don't know, it's just weird to me, bro. Like, so I'm excited for this fight card. Like I said, top to bottom, it's great. If you guys want my favorite dogs of the week, I'm gonna break them down real quick for you. Give me Ricky Tercios. I absolutely love Ricky Tercios here. Clayton Carpenter is a very dangerous and underrated dog of the week too, as well. Diego Fajeda is a great dog of the week. And yeah, those are my favorite dogs of the week. So I'm going to make my dog of the week parlay, which is going to be Ricky Tercios. It's going to be Diego Fajeda. Damn, I guess I didn't chase dogs as many as I really thought I did, honestly. So
it just started off like that. And my dogs, I like Eileen Perez and Carlos Diego Fajeda. So, you know, I'm going to be playing those straight and then maybe a D-Gem parlay of the dog stack as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be playing all dogs I do like just in general. So
I'm super excited for this fight card, man. We have some absolute bangers. Co-main event sick, main event sick, featured bout sick. Pretty much the entire card, top to bottom. I know, I'm sick, bro. My head is pounding ever since I got home. Like, I've been sick all day. Go Islam, bet on Armin, hail my dog. Yeah, you already know, Vinny.
Boy said go Islam, bet on Armin. No, if you bet on Armin, go Armin. Fuck
no, that's two people. Vinny says go Islam. TJ says bet on Armin, cash out round 5.
Oh, fuck.
And then Vinny says,
we all know who Vinny was voting for. I love you, Vinny, but if their name ends with a V, dog, you know Vinny. You know Vinny loves them, dog. You know Vinny loves those uncle to uncle babies. So
you already know. Yeah, dude.
Let's go Armenian Batman Armand Tsarukyan, dog.
Let's get it. And
that's a fire ass nickname for him, the Armenian Batman. I like that. That's
Armenian Batman. Would you just make that up?
No. I saw that on Twitter not long ago. I don't want to take credit for it. I just think it's so badass because he comes from money and he scraps and he's handsome.
Right. Yeah.
It's like if he came up and said, "Hey, I want to fuck your bitch," I'd be like, "Fuck, what can we do?" What the fuck can we do about that, bro? I mean, thank God it's America. We have guns.
Yeah, let me go get the gun real quick. He's probably got guns too, though.
Well, I'm in Arizona, bro. The gun's right here. The glizzy's right here, brother.
You already know. Hey, it's like we like that around here too.
Shit.
Wow. But yeah, so you already know.
This man said, "Bow."
That's that trade 5, baby.
Well, go Commanders this weekend. I would love you guys to upset the Lions. That'd be super fun. I don't personally don't think it happens, but I would love that to happen. Just saying.
Hey, all I can say, if you're the Lions, do not let the Commanders keep it close, because if you do, and Jaden Daniels finds himself with the ball in a 1-possession game, that shit's wraps. So y'all better blow us out.
That dude can't do that every single game, bro. It's insane.
I know, it is crazy. He does do it pretty much every game, which is nutty. Shout out Jose Comps. We about to run some Marvel Rivals. We about to run some Fortnite. You already know what's going on.
Yeah, bro. Me and TJ, we're about to run some DC compadres, bro. What you know about that DC compadres, bro?
Hey, what's up, fool? That junk's about to go crazy. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm super excited for this card. Hey.
All right, well,
hey,
what's up, fool?
Thank you for facilitating.
I just had to come here and be like, this shit's badass, bro. Peyton Talbot was our lock of the night, so that was dope. And you gotta add me on Marvels, by the way.
Hey, you already know. Hey, shout out one time to Fu for facilitating the show tonight. We appreciate you, and everybody, make sure to bet responsibly. Enjoy the fights. Like, share, subscribe. Go follow Combat Sports Today on Twitter. You already know the vibes. We're gonna be lit for UFC 311. Peace, boys.